Warning: the following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Of ducks unknown, our voice begins to rise, breaking through the noise with fire in its eyes. The spirit of adventure burning ever bright. Hold on tight, travelers, it's gonna be alright. Another week burning, halfway to the end. Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, let the tears descend. Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, night is here. Shatter the silence, conquer all your fear. Bonus Overdrive, the angels gonna scream. With Diego at the wheel, living out a dream.
It's time to find out with Diego. Let's go. Ooh, yeah.
On this episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, this story is about two rival musicians who became friends because they both loved playing metal music. Despite their shared passion, they took a different path and joined the Navy. One stormy night in separate parts of the world, they were both lost at sea and became enslaved to Davy Jones' ghostly armada. All this plus more. Please welcome new friend and first-time guest. They are an unapologetic Christian heavy metal band from Southeast North Carolina. They are Cast to Sea. Brandon, my friend, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
What's up? Thank you for having us on, man.
Of course, man. You know, and we were talking earlier before we started the interview that I'm a big fan of Christian metal. In fact, I was kind of almost raised in it. And I mean, of course, I came out of the 80s with secular, and then once I became 14, 15, I discovered Christian metal. And I said, I'll go back to my Deliverance, Living Sacrifice, Tourniquet, Barren Cross, and of course, Striper. And depending on your flavor, Seventh Angel. And now, fast forward to today, I'm amazed by the amount of Christian metal bands that are now coming out or been around and just now getting notoriety. But we're going to get into that in a moment, my friend. You have a little bit of a different angle when it comes to storytelling in your music. Mm-hmm. And you're going to Adventures of High Seas, a blend. We're talking about the blend of the high seas and your faith. So with this concept, how did it come to light and how did you adopt it to your image?
Well, started off, we were playing music and we wanted heavy and we wanted technical. But we decided to tone down the technical a little bit to be a little more approachable. And so we were not going the Christian route to begin with. But then about December last year, Kelly and we started swapping back and forth Bible verses. And we started getting real deeper in our walk with Christ. And so we were like, he gave us this talent to do this music. Why don't we do it for him? Help spread the word in a unique way. I know myself, I don't really like Caleb that much. Hey, there he is.
Cooper Kelly, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
Don't talk about Kelly anymore. I won't say nothing bad about Kelly anymore. But but yeah, and then lost my train of thought. But yeah, I don't really like Caleb. Well, I do, but I don't. And I know there's other people like me that wants the heavier stuff. We kind of feed off the heavier music. It keeps us calm. It keeps us steady. So we decided we'd go Christian metal with it. And so we were in the Navy, so we liked nautical stuff. So we was like, why don't we mesh the two together? And we wanted to be unique. So that's where the approach with mixing a nautical theme with a biblical theme together into a song to portray a message.
And before we continue, and I failed to do, I'm a terrible host. So Brandon, we discussed you play the guitar in the band, correct?
Yes, I play the guitar. Kelly helps write riffs also, and I also do the vocals. So
And before you chose to go down and explore your faith and then put it into music, what kind of band was Cast to Sea before that?
Oh, it started off as a Christian band. We
yeah, Cast to Sea did.
So we well, God, in a nutshell, last year, a friend of mine, he really wanted to do some music, and me and him are playing, and I invited Brandon. Matter of fact, Necropotence, we more like your death metal kind of feel, and we decided that we wanted to go a different route because with the Necropotence stuff, it was heavy, but as we ventured forward, we got more technical. And originally, Cast to Sea was going to be Christian Archfire, and we decided we're going to take a rock approach.
For people that don't know, Archfire is a super technical death metal band.
And we haven't found, other than Beneath the Massacre. Beneath the Massacre is probably the closest thing to that, and that's a Christian metal band out of South Carolina, and they're bad. But that's that. We did a rock song. We put it out there. We realized that it was not what we wanted, so there's only one trace of it. So we decided that Asley Dine was making they were exited the scene. Why not have another Christian band kind of take metal to a whole nother level? And we decided we're doing it right the first go around. We're going to base it on Jesus and the principles of Jesus, and that's why it's unapologetic. We call it apologetic metalcore. It's not really metalcore, but we're trying to bring that spirit of metalcore back. Fun shows. It's about the people, for the people, and ultimately it's about praising God in our own way, not your typical Sunday. And we shouldn't have to change ourselves if we're doing God's bidding. So we're just doing our own thing,
That's where the unapologetic part comes from. It's like other Christians might not like it because it's hard and heavy, and screaming in there. But it's like, sorry, not everybody wants to hear K-Love.
We're not. And here's the thing: this is something that we talked about. We're not doing this for the people that go to church on Sunday. We're doing this to get people's attention and do what we're supposed to be doing, and that's preaching the word. And what better way of doing it by honoring with music? And it's just, if we wanted to do it and be really successful at it, we would go learn hymns and play churches. That would be, but it's all about the spirit, and it's all about the love and the passion. And, that's what we were made for, is this style of music. And this is our way of praising God. And,
That's okay. It's going to come in and out. But, I'm pretty familiar with some of the story you guys are discussing here, because there's people who love hard rock and heavy metal and may not be able to associate with listening, I guess, to gospel or country music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay too. And let's go back. And I know that you're talking about bringing your faith to your music. What era of Christian rock or metal did you guys come out of, or did you discover that later on?
Well, Brandon's experience is different than mine. I grew up when I was preteen. My dad got Angel TV, and I remember MTV or MTU, VTU, the Christian metal. It played rock. It played like Switchfoot. It played Saint Real. It would play like gosh knows. I mean, it's 1,000-Foot Crutch. It would play even metal music. Mortal Treason was a good one, and that's where we picked up. And they would do like Headbangers Ball kind of style on Friday and Saturday night on the radio side. So I learned a lot about Christian bands that today are big. I knew Skillet before they got big. My journey was different. I knew these bands when they were first coming out, and now Brandon's learning these bands, and
I'm just now finding them.
and they're still putting music out. And I mean, like Demon Hunter, they just dropped a new CD, and oh my goodness, it's.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I mean, that's why it's really cool that I saw these bands. I mean, you got Tooth and Nail Records. I mean, these things were Solid State Records. I mean, these guys were getting started in the '90s, and when I picked up, they were just underground. There wasn't no traction. But now, I mean, Project 86, POD, these people are still kicking, and they're putting out good tunes. So, yeah. On my end, I've been immersed in it my whole life. With Brandon's finding stuff that I didn't know was a thing. I mean, like Beneath the Massacre, Brandon put me on them, and it's like these guys, 2000, 2001, playing stuff
like
that's good today.
Yeah.
So, Brandon finds all the good stuff. Like,
yeah, I didn't really start finding any until after we got into it. Growing up, mostly all I knew about was Skillet and POD, 1,000 Foot Crunch, and
well, that's the thing. You kind of like how I found you guys, because what I do is I'll go to certain bands' Facebook page or X or you name IG. I'll start seeing who they're following, and I start seeing name of bands, and I go on that band, I click on these bands, and I play them. That's the best way to discover it. I think back in my time, one of the only ways for you to find more about bands was through fanzines, underground fanzines or Heaven's Metal, White Throne, and you would order the demos. And then some of these bands down the road eventually got a little bit bigger. Talk about Living Sacrifice was one of them. But now with social media, it's a little bit easier than it was back in the day to start discovering some of these terrific bands out there. And I feel a little bit behind. I need to start catching up with some of these new bands out there.
Facebook groups for Christian metal. That's where I've learned a lot here recently.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much out there, and the issue is not the music being out there, it's the distribution of said music. That's why we went through the processes. We produced, recorded, mastered, and we got our stuff sent out, just us. We used a certain company, and we did everything.
Yep.
And a lot of issues that we've noticed with a lot of bands that were trying to do what we do, and this is a discouragement for Christian bands, because you automatically get a sour face when you say this is Christian so and so.
Yeah.
If you're saying you're going to go record gospel, they expect it. But, you have to go against the grain. We've had to learn a lot, not only just in our instruments alone, but the recording process, knowing stuff like about Reaper, which we're learning a lot thanks to Brandon. And the first couple of songs that we got out there, it really doesn't represent what we're actually doing. It's just, we're not going to go back and perfect it, because that's the whole point. We want to show it's a journey, a journal of how the life of this is. We go on Facebook Live, we go on TikTok, interact with fans whenever Brandon's doing maintenance on his guitar. He'll talk about it, play our music, and we always bring up the message of Christ as well. Anytime we're up on live or, we base it off of that. And, we know that we're going to run against the wall with some of this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's things like this, like the podcast, and Jimmy, letting us do an interview with him. And stuff like this is how you find out about these bands. And, music today has been, it's just all thrown together. And I mean, there's no motivational behind it. There's no message other than, hey, go get drunk, or hey, go mess around with somebody, or good music is hard to come by, I've noticed.
Or copy paste samples.
Yeah. Or the biggest thing, I work in radio business. I'm actually a local DJ in the area, and I will tell you that a lot of the big hits are covers of covers. Yeah. Not even an original song, and that's how a lot of these people get big. Whitney Houston, her best song was a cover. It
was the same with Quiet Riot too.
Yeah. Sweet was it? No, Slade. Slade was originally the one that did "Come On, Feel the Noise," and
Mm-hmm.
but and that's the thing when it comes down to it. Secular music is way easier to do, but the thing is, guess what? You're still in the same boat of trying to get your music out because you're a dime a dozen.
Oh yeah, so many songs getting put out every day.
I mean, Christian music, especially with Christian metal, you get more attention in a negative way, it seems like, but you take that negative way and you turn it into a positive.
Yeah, attention's attention.
They don't like it. My thing is, somebody, at least one person that likes this music, get it to them and let them, because this is their thing.
Yeah.
And that's been our key factor is the people that don't like our music have a good friendship with us and relationship with us. They might not like the music, but a lot of people are supporting the cause. And that's what it ultimately is about. We're going to get more people in a different way that they couldn't get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's been a battle. Me and Brandon, we have our ups and down days, it's like, but the show we did at the church, that really electrified what we're doing and what we're going to do.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, and I think, and I'm not trying to sound controversial or anything, but it's kind of a little bit of a fact. I think it's a little bit harder for Christian acts in the secular world, not only to break through, and some have crossed over very well, but because they're watching you every moment, everything you say, everything you do. It's not just, the music's great, your lyrics are great, I see what you're saying, but they're watching you, see how you act outside and, outside your shows or at church. So it's a little bit added stress in a way.
Waiting for you to mess up so they can point a finger.
And that's, you get into that, and I'm speaking on my part of my following with Christ. I only answer to one person. And, Jesus says that when you follow me, narrow is the path. And also that, he even says that when you're doing what you're supposed to, don't be surprised that the father and mother turn from you, that your brother and sister turn from you. The thing is, and Brandon will acknowledge this, I say it all the time to both, when I'm talking with us. If he tells me to do it, I could care less what the reaction is, because I'm doing it because I'm told to. And it really, since we've gotten in that mindset, and me and him have, our spirituality now is stronger than it's ever been in our lives. We see things and we understand things, and we're not worried about offending anybody. Me personally, here's the thing. You have to get out of that mindset when you're doing Christian music. People are going to watch you. People are going to watch you regardless. The thing is, if you're not right with God, and a lot of these bands, they start off as Christian bands, and guess what? They get that Dylan from them and they go secular. That's another fact. So, number one, you got to have God and as a foundation, and two, you have to have that faith, knowing that you're going to get where you're supposed to. And, sometimes the backlash is something else.
Oh, yeah.
People that you would expect not hearing it from. So, and the battle is your Christian community. That's a big thing here, being down in the Bible Belt area, North South Carolina. We're very Southern Baptist. And if it's not country,
right. Nobody likes it around here.
So, and that's the thing. Then you have all the local churches. You have to keep strong in the faith, and the purpose has got to stay concrete. And that's, and it's fun. It is. It's fun, but at the same time, you're making the difference.
And that's true. In a way, it goes in cycles. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s, it was the same thing. I lived in Ohio area. There was some churches would let the bands play there, some would not. And it's you kind of don't fit in. You don't fit in the left shoe, you don't fit on the right shoe. And somewhere you have to navigate the waters in between. And then eventually you will get accepted because they'll see that you're doing the right thing for the correct purpose. And I'll deviate here in a little bit because I know that we might have touched it earlier on. For the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday that might not be too familiar with the maritime legend of the Curse of the Essex, let's talk a little bit about that. What drew you to that story and what's about?
Well, that's kind of the Curse of the Essex. It was the ship that inspired the novel Moby Dick. So it was a ship from Bath from Maine called Essex that supposedly went out to sea, got ran by some whales, and it started sinking. So they took some lifeboats over to get back to land, and it took them so long that there was cannibalism and people dying on there. And it's like, for those who had to endure the cannibalism part, it's like Jesus can still forgive you for that, you know. So that was the harsh story of the Curse of the Essex. It also goes along with Jonah and the whale. There's a part in there talking about cast me overboard by sailors in distress. You know, the sailors with Jonah, they were in distress because the ocean wouldn't calm down. And they thought it was because of him, and it was because he went the wrong way that he wasn't supposed to go. And so they tossed him over, and then it's like, from the depths of my despair to the shores of sweet grace, you know.
And that and the band too. Cast me overboard. You know, you have to commit to Jesus, and the songs all kind of tie in with the band name in a sense. I mean, Brandon is very, 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 very artistic on how he brings the nautical history and throws the scriptures in there. So it's we're doing something that no one else has done, and it's unique. So, you know, and Brandon's, man, his storytelling, you can tell he was in the Navy. He's just got the storyteller mindset, and you know,
I do the best I can. I don't feel like it's that great, but
Whether you guys recently released, was it a full album or was it an EP?
we are in the process of finishing the EP. We a lot of stuff's happening real fast for us, and you know, me and Brandon are having to, you know, figure out, okay, what we're going to do. So we're going to finish the EP. We're going to have it done this year. We're going to have it released this year. But little nugget, this will be the only time you hear Cast to Sea like this, because we have focused. We're going to go a little more technical.
mm-hmm.
We got some more ideas. We're going to go ahead and push the threshold, and the next EP is going to be even more adventurous. But right now, you know, well, we got 6-song EP.
Yeah, we have a 6-song EP.
And there's each song has its own little flair. We have one song that's even harder than Curse of Essex. It's our ode to, you know, thrash metal, black metal, you know, and that one we're still working kinks out because we don't know exactly what we want to do. We ended up doing it live, but we did it with Brandon doing vocals and me back vocaling. But we were hoping to get some local talent that, you know, just in the scene to do it. But, you know, it wasn't God's plan at the time. So.
And you guys have your own studio you record this at, or are you going out somewhere else to do it?
We use
in the house.
we got Focusrite. We used BandLab for the EP. BandLab is free, bass trials and all that. And it's good. But we, you know, for those who are looking at maybe upping their production home studio and all that, man, Reaper, Ableton, and Logic Pro, these three, Reaper has abundance of plugin ads. So
yeah,
we're going to switch to Reaper for the next EP. Brandon, you know, Brandon plays a 7 on some, but now he plays 8. We're going to really get that 8 string to bite.
Oh yeah.
We also, you know, Brandon's upgraded his amp. He's got orange now. We're using orange for the guitars, and originally we were using katanas. So, you know, we're learning and we're evolving as we go. So every time we put something out, it's just going to keep getting better and better. And there'll be a good message behind it. So
Absolutely. The longer you do this, you'll start seeing the fruits of your labor come out. And now, when you release the EP, and I know you're releasing under your own, what platforms will it be on? Will it just strictly be on YouTube Music? Will it be on Spotify?
All of them.
all of them.
Definitely all the major ones.
Yeah, we're on every streaming site with our 2 singles right now, and we're gonna do the same thing. So, we were talking about doing a vinyl as like some merch and stuff, because we have a bunch of friends that are old school. They love vinyl, but that's a local thing. We're trying any kind of cool stuff like that. We have a friend of mine. She makes the shirts locally for us. And the thing is, we gave 5 of them out for free at the show, and I give out the cards. Me and him are more about the local area as well. So we're trying to get people that do this.
But, if anybody likes a logo and they're not local, I mean, on our Linktree is the link to our thread list where you can get our logo on a shirt or the ship on a shirt. So you can support us that way too. That'd be pretty cool.
Actually been working on, I think you can get a basic model skateboard on Threadless, but we have a friend who is about Skate for Wifle, my good friend AJ Worley, and he's actually, me and him are in cahoots about making a whole line of like local band skateboards. So Cassidy will have a local one made. You couldn't buy it on the internet. You would have to, come here to buy it. So, that's the thing that we're trying to do is, I toured professionally in 2013. I was a touring drummer, and man, it's an experience. But the thing is, we can make people come home to see us and not have to worry about, leaving the family behind and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And with that, I know you talked about maybe a possible vinyl. Will there be physical media as well, like CDs coming out as well?
Well, we're working.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah, we're actually talking about doing cassette tapes, just, going old vibes.
Yeah, that seems to be coming back. Cassette tapes do.
Well, before you continue, hold on. So you're talking about cassette tapes. Yeah. So this whole here is my Christian rock and metal collection.
Nice.
I still have crates in my garage, and I got physical media. I love physical media. It's I like reading the liner notes. I like the whole thing. I even like the way it smells. If that sounds weird, I'm not trying to.
I get it. I get it.
Got an old school feel to it. I mean, working at the studio, I do Monday Night Metal. I play like all the crazy metal stuff, and man, sometimes I kind of wish the old, like, just pop into sets. I wish they still had that, because it watching videos, it just makes the essence. And tape, like Korn's going back to recording with a tape for this next album, and I'm seeing a lot of bands going back to tape recording, and it gives it that feel. So we were talking about, we're looking at options to do something different for the next EP. So it's like there's so many things in the world of music, and you don't even have to. We practice about every 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get together and practice.
Yeah.
The thing is, we work on our music at our own time, at our own houses, and we throw our headphones in and we let it rock. It's very easy to do, and we have control of how we do this too. The biggest thing is having patience, and me and Brandon are learning every day about patience. God is showing us every day.
Yeah, I'm not one of very much patience, and this has definitely been trying my patience.
It's very humbling, and then you got to be patient, not only during the recording process, but to make sure that the stuff that you're writing actually is able to grab the attention of a person who may not even attend church, or even those that are already attending, and to make it all flow and make sense. But also, not only with your recording and the merchandise, there's another part to this where you're going to be playing some shows. Where are you going to be at? Because I know we're in August now, coming up with September. Where are you guys going to be playing this year?
We might have one show. Looks like we might have one coming up in October. But after that, I think Cass and Steve's, we've been talking about it with, I have a daughter coming. So we already know the first 3 months are going to be.
There'll be a few months that we won't be able to do a show because he'll be on baby duty.
But with that being said, I think we'll probably go ahead and start working on the new EP. Me and Brandon have collectively since last July, I would say we probably have 100 tracks written.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't call them full tracks. It's like riffs and bits and pieces that we got to sort through.
Yeah, I mean, there's potentially a couple albums worth of music. So, we got the music, but our problem is we grow and evolve as musicians and also as Christians. That we start tweaking things, and that's where the patience really comes in, because it's like we get used to doing it one way and we realize we want to do it a different way, and then that's a test in itself. But the end product is always better than what we could ever imagine. This goes back to having faith in it, and me and Brandon both keep each other strong. I mean, there's some days that I'll call Brandon and I'm like, man, but me and him we're in the military together, went to college together for a short bit for music. We know each other.
I can't get away from this guy.
That's okay. That's what you want. You want some sort of teamwork and cohesion and a good brotherhood. Makes it, I guess, easier for the process of creation. And I'm going to ask you a kind of a weird question. Talking about cover tunes and how other bands have done that. Is there a song that you both are willing to cover and put on tape one day?
Well, I do say we do medleys. Me and Brandon, that's our thing. We like doing medleys.
Yeah, medleys, yeah.
If we were to do a cover of anything, I would have to say it would probably lean towards Children of Bodom. We both are very big fans of Alexia Leo.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
on my end, it would probably be a Children of Bodom song, but we'd probably change some of the lyrics. That was something we were talking about. If we were to do a cover, we were messing around with Prom. Was it? Yeah, Prom Queen.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, but it's like the lyrics is like, and that's another thing. If you play something secular, you got to change the lyrics. So, but like Christian stuff, man, Brandon's he's found a plethora of Christian bands that it's just, oh man, there's so many good stuff. For me, I'd say it'd probably be Bodom. Bodom would probably be like, if I had to pick a cover tune, it'd probably be Children of Bodom. So much there for the drums, guitar, just everything.
Yeah, they'd make a good cover song for sure.
I mean, they're amazing. Hey Crew Death Roll is my favorite.
Oh
That
yeah.
album. It's just, I don't know. It's from cover to cover, first song, last song is flawless.
And I like, for me, that or Archfire. We actually were working on a cover of Archfire, but that's
We got some practicing to do for that. So yeah, if you want to be blown away by some amazing musicians, give Archspire a listen.
And then Dean Lamb, man, we've watched his videos. There's so much good stuff out there for musicians, especially if you're starting off and you want to start a band and all that, man. All the people that do this for a living, they have free YouTube videos, and we still use them. We'll go on there and we'll listen. Okay, how did they write this? Okay, so they were taking this minor, or they're doing this, or alternate string picking. It's one Brandon really fell in love with this past year. Skip tremolo picking at the same time, so it's cool.
Thank goodness for YouTube. Not only that, you could also discover a ton of new bands out there, especially in Christian realms. You're going to be amazed. I would send you a list of things I've discovered just this year by itself. And yeah, definitely. And now for the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, they want to learn more about what you guys do, not only your music, but the kind of message that you're sending out there. How can they find out more about Cast to See and where you're going to be this year?
Follow us on Facebook for one. That we're extremely active on Facebook. So
And TikTok. TikTok, we basically do like our maintenance for practicing or something, warming up. TikTok is like our information, like educational thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
Facebook, I'll get on.
Sometimes I'll get on there just noodle
Yeah.
in the car. So.
We always every feed always we do. Christ is brought up. I don't believe in beating a dead horse. A lot of reasons why people don't go to church is because they feel the repetition and they don't get nothing out of it. So, our actions speak louder than our words, and we want the music to do the talking. So we'll always bring that up. But our approach is, we are gonna go a different route and that's the thing. You got to shake it up. I help out with my church, and I'm in the visual department, running the soundboard and stuff, and I'm helping them get out of their comfort zone. And if you do it, you copy somebody, you're gonna get the same results, but you'll never get the results of what you need to be doing. So it's the same thing with the music. We let you in on our lives, and you get to see us when we play. You'll see us mess up, and we laugh it off.
Yeah, we don't care if we make a mistake. I mean, it happens. So.
And that's one thing. When we record, a lot of friends. I got a lot of professional friends that say, "Hey, we got to play with a click live." We don't do that. We let the energy take us, and I believe that that when the spirit is hot and things happen. I mean, we played stuff a little wrong at the show, but I mean, it sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
With it, we were in our comfortability. We were in where we were supposed to be. So, I mean, the social media shows more in depth about what we are. Shows, I would say next year, next year we'll probably play a little bit more shows, but we never really wanted to be a show band in a sense. We wanted to play bigger shows, but less of them. But with that being said, Cast to See will have a show to put on. We're going to put very, very, very dynamic visuals. We weren't able to do it at the church because of technical difficulty. That was my fault, but
still working out the kinks.
But we want to have a visual. We've been talking about actually putting on a play production at one point. We got some ideas to make it stand out even more. But tune into the socials, Facebook, TikTok. Also, you can check out 103.9 FM WTXY. I'm the local DJ for that. I play a lot of interesting music on Monday nights. I throw in some Christian metal in there as well. I play Cast to See, usually around 11. And we're trying to inspire people to follow their dream in music, but at the same time, don't let you forget God first. Okay?
Nope.
Yeah, that's it. We're very short and to the point, but we're very loud.
Very loud.
And that's what got my attention, my friend. And this is one of my favorite parts of the show as we get ready to close it in. And Brandon, you sent me a single.
Yes.
One of your newer songs, Curse of the Essex. Cobra Kelly, you're a radio guy.
Yeah.
So let's bring this ship to port. Tell us about what we're going to expect from the latest single, Curse of the Essex.
Well, we said nautical. There's a lot of nautical banter going on. The organ, the cannons. And, we throw a little bit of metalcore at you for the root of the song, but at the end, we really blast you away, capsize you.
It's really melodic in points.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And hey, man, no one ever knows how much stuff is for us, and we never take it for granted. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friends. This is Cast to See with Curse of the Essex. Right now.
All content on this broadcast is a property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. The information shared on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.